Welcome back. Our top stories at this hour takes us to Nigeria, where counsels to the opposition Labour Party have accused Nigeria's electoral body of being partisan at the ongoing Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, holding in the nation's capital, Abuja. This followed the adjournment of the tribunal proceedings to tomorrow, the 19th of May, for the party's inability to resolve issues surrounding access to election materials as requested by the opposition Labour Party. News Central's Amading Uyi monitored the proceedings at the court for us and now tells us more.
The session was duly attended by the councillors of the opposition Labour Party, councillors to the respondents, and several supporters of the various political parties. It was a back and forth on the accessibility of election materials by the team of councillors for the petitioners, as they accused the nation's electoral body of refusing to grant them access.
No other party is complaining about not getting any documents. You should ask the question, why is it so? Because they have been provided with documents, except the petitioners, who have not been provided with the required documents. And I keep on saying, what is INEC hiding? What is he hiding?
Though the councils to the electoral body and the second and third respondents denied the claims, the council to the Labour Party and the party's presidential candidates accused the electoral body of being biased and partisan.
INEC sees itself as a candidate in an election that it conducted. I say it with every degree of emphasis, going by the conduct of INEC, and that is true.
The tribunal adjourned the proceedings to May the 19th. However, shortly after the tribunal proceedings, all hell broke loose as pressmen attempted to speak to the factional chairman of the Labour Party, Lamidi Apapa, as youths loyal to the other faction refused to grant him access.
No way! No way! Nobody's talking to me.
After rough handling the factional chairman, he was saved by the intervention of security operatives present at the court and whisked out of the court's premises. The tribunal urged all councils to meet before the 19th and resolve all unresolved issues concerning documents admissibility, response to questions from applications, and filing of due processes. Amadin Uyi, reporting for News Central.
Still talking election petition matters, the Labour Party acting chairman Lamidi Apapa and the Director General of Peter Obi's Presidential Campaign Council, Akin Osuntokun, clashed at the appeal court on Wednesday. Apapa and Osuntokun were seen in viral videos arguing over a seat at the Presidential Election Petition Court, PEPT, sitting in Abuja.
The justices arrived to commence the day's proceedings and also refused to acknowledge the representation of the party aside the presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi, who, of course, was present in court. Apapa had attempted to occupy the seat reserved for Julius Abure, but was resisted and later escorted out of the courtroom by security operatives. Chaotic things there, but of course, to give us more context on the power tussle in the Labour Party, we're joined by via phone by Professor Ifagbemi Awamaride, the Labour Party chairman, Lagos State. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, you're currently in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Can you walk us through the genesis of what we saw play out yesterday at the Election Tribunal Court or hearing?
Well, I think it's something that has been happening in the party for years, for some years now, about 2 or 3 years. So it's not something that started today. It's not something that started yesterday.
Okay, when you say that it's not something that started yesterday, what exactly do you mean?
So the party was hijacked by Aburi, Julius Aburi, in 2021. Via a fake constitution. That was as a sort of fraudulent convention. I mean, it's a fraudulent neck meeting in Benin. That is after the death of Salam. After that, there were court proceedings against that action. But by the time the court proceedings came in with an ex parte order, then it was that thing was by the acting national chairman then, that is Maria. Maria with the NLC went to court, and there was an order that the status quo should renew. That is, not supposed to be the chairman, because by the constitution of Labour Party, the next Salam came from Central. And if anybody is going to act to take over that position, there's two things. Finish term of the late chairman. That is one. Two, the person is going to come from the same zone, which is not Central now. The chairman died. But all this we are thrown to the to the artists, and there was a gang up, there was a coup against the party constitution, and Abure installed himself as the chairman of the party. Then later on, after that court order and so on, by 2021 and going to 2022, we converged within the party. Many of us said, look, many of people said, we are going into election. 2022 is an election year. That we should just temporarily leave Aburi if we can conform. I mean, if we can at least do what it is, that we should leave and let the election go. Because if we had a crisis before the election, it's going to affect our election. And that's when then the untoward came up around May, when Abure started behaving in a way to merchandise Labour Party. He started behaving in a way to merchandise Labour Party and going for the highest bidder. And after March or April, he had many presidential candidates. One of them was Sami Charles. And after all these people submitted their form, Abure himself declared that the forms were closed. Because there are evidences that he declared that the forms were closed. He wanted to collect forms. He refused. A sample of that, we have the former John, the former presidential candidate of NCP, a presidential aspirant in NCP in, I think, 2019. He's based in Lagos. He wanted to collect, because the form is closed. Some people came who wanted to go and use their money to buy form for Falano. I'm not
all right, let's.
I'm telling you the genesis of this. You want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Now, after that, Obi came. By that time, the form was no more closed. Fine. That went on. We went for the primaries of Saudi. And we said, okay, let us just assume we are just taking some of these sheets, gradually, just like that, just for political exigency. Obi came. Obi never campaigned within the party. Obi was imposed on the party. Peter Obi was imposed on the party. I have evidence. Was imposed on the party, and we just said, okay, let us go on.
Well, let me understand what you're saying, and I would like to also ask, about Lamidi Apapa and the role that he played all through the electoral elections period, because he didn't seem to be very vocal all through when Peter Obi joined Labour Party, became the presidential aspirant of Labour Party, and of course throughout the electoral process. So where was he in that period, and what role did he play in that period And then where do we currently stand?
Now, let me clarify one thing to you. I am not in Apapa's group, and I am not in Abuja's group. I am not.
Yeah, but I mean, you've said repeatedly that Julius Abure imposed himself on the party, so I'm sure you would have clear information on what Lamidi Apapa played and what he did in the period during the electoral process.
That's what I'm coming. I want to first of all clarify to you, to anybody, that I don't belong or support the Apapa group, neither do I support the Abure group. I am Labour Party, I am a stakeholder in Labour Party. That's clear. I want to clear that first. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, talking about Apapa, Apapa was made the Deputy National Chairman. That is, you can call it Deputy National Chairman 1. Now, it started during on the day of the primary of Obi. I was there. I saw the way the primary was going on. I complained. I went to them to complain, all the officers of the NWC. I saw that the people were not doing it well. In fact, I did that primary 2 or 3 times. That's the truth. One from my next staff. They said, do it again. Then I discovered that some small bar, led by Ojuku, who was the organizing secretary. We are the one. Apapa was a spectator in the primary. I think this is not correct. This is that was not doing this thing. So all this stuff started from them. All these people, all other people were not in so-called Abure. And even during the whole election, all that was done was just like Abure making himself a candidate of Labour Party. That is just the truth of the matter. If you let it believe, let it not believe. That's the truth of the matter. And that is, everybody was just saying, okay, let's just do the election. Let us just do the election. So that they will say, these are the people that did not allow us to do the election. But
okay, so what you're saying is Lamidi Apapa chose and decided to allow sleeping dogs lie throughout the electoral process.
Not only Lamidi Apapa, many members of the party.
Okay. All right, so now let's talk about, where we currently are and what played out yesterday. I would also like to ask, anyway, let's talk about what played out yesterday first in the tribunal.
Yeah, what played out yesterday, which many people have been calling all over the Federation on the Labour Party, I think it's a very bad incident. And from what I saw and how I looked at it, it was not Labour Party members that did what happened. There are people who are not even members of Labour Party. People I prefer to call them the people extremists. Not they are not members of Labour Party. Very clear. You look at the video very well. As I'm talking to you now, I'm looking at the video in channels. We are not members of the Labour Party at all.
Yeah, but how do you know people? How can I tell a Labour Party member?
Maybe you do not know many things. I have been in the party for a long time, and I know the stakeholders in the party.
Okay, so what you're saying now is that
even many that the press are interviewing. Even if you have to party to campaign for obedience, you can't join the party. For instance, report the duty of the campaign of Peter Obi. After the election, he was a similar candidate to the city. He never withdrew his candidate. And that's the character that saying is the duty of the campaign of a president candidate of the party. Anything that goes. Any little thing can just come and claim candidacy in the party.
Okay, so if you're saying that the people who did what happened or what they did yesterday were not members of Labour Party, do you have evidence as to who they are, where they're from?
We are investigating. them. We do what happened. We are still on investigation of what happened.
Okay.
We cannot just within a day say these are the people. We are investigating what happened. Well, I mean, the people that are behind it, are going to what happened.
All right. Yesterday, Lamidi Apapa had a press conference where he addressed journalists talking about what had happened. And part of what he addressed was the allegation against him that he collected 500 million naira to scuttle Peter Obi's petition against the president-elect, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. He, of course, vehemently denied this, but I'd like to know what your thoughts are.
You see, I cannot speak for. I don't live and I don't wake up and speak with any of them. So I cannot on my own vouch for that. I know that in that their group, in that Apapa group, there is only one person I know who is an APC person, and that is Alabandi, who from onset has been just reclaiming himself to one thing or the other. Alabandi, there was no convention, there was no net meeting that appointed Alabandi. It was Abuja that personally took him there, that called him that's how we do it about happening in the party.
Okay. We're sorry, the sound is not enough of his best quality, so I'm actually struggling to hear everything you're saying. But, you know, still on yesterday, and I'm going to move to something else in a bit, but still on yesterday, I'm seeing, of course, that Kenneth Okonkwo responded to, you know, the issues yesterday, and, of course, made mention that Lamidi Apapa is not a party to the suit at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, and he says that no court has given any order for him to regard himself as Labour Party chairman. So I want you to quickly respond to that. You know, what then is he doing at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal?
The person they are talking about is not known to Labour Party, not a member of Labour Party. That person said that. This is one of the things I'm saying. It's not a Labour Party taking that. These are people that just came to just come and shout during the presidential campaign. That's one. Now, talking about the issue of the court, I was not part of the court action and that brought in the court order that said this. But it is established that Abuja and his cohort committed forgery and fraud in not less than 32 states in Nigeria, in connection with INEC. I repeat, in connection with INEC.
Can you repeat that? Can you please say that again?
I saw the order. I saw the order from the court. And I looked at it. I saw that I had said that it's training ability from parading himself. I don't know how to put that order, but there's an order. But when that order comes, then what Abuja should have done is to have held on, he has not parading himself, and then go to that court and try to vacate that order. But instead of that, he was not doing that. He went ahead to start organize, a fraudulent net meeting. If there's an order that the chairman should not parade himself as the chairman, it is common sense only tells you that there cannot be a vacuum. Like I told you, I'm not in any of their group.
Yeah, Professor, you made mention of fraud in 22 states. I would like that you repeat that. I didn't get that.
He said, yes. Abuja has the cohort and many of them coming, including Alabandi. That is with Abuja, that is with Abaka. They committed fraud. The only difference between some of them is just that they refuse to share in the benefits in appropriate terms. I'm telling you the truth. Look, if the court says, Abuja, step aside, or whatever, don't parade yourself. You cannot expect it in a party like that.
All right, Professor, if I may, final question to you. I wanted you to quickly share your share updates on the Lagos state election, of course, with Gbadebo Rhodes Vivar contesting. He, of course, is going to court also, I believe. So can you give us updates on that? You're the Labour Party chairman, Lagos State.
The no candidate of Labour Party Lagos State. This is one of the things I'm telling you. These were the people that have been brought to Lagos.
So you're saying
by going to court according, they forced my own. Oh, the case is still on in the criminal case that they're pushing now. In the sense that from next week to start hearing the kids and everything about the matter. They went to forge my own withdrawal letter. I am the one alive now talking. The way they forged my withdrawal letter, that is a very cool. It took Taraba and it's on the other side. They want to forge my withdrawal letter and brought in some characters to come and say they are candidates of Labour Party.
So you're saying that Gbadebo Rhodes Viver, according to you, is not the Labour Party candidate for Lagos State?
He is not even a member of Labour Party before this. Where did he join Labour Party? No, where? Asking, where is join Labour Party? This is what chairman made him entered into the Labour Party. This is what which local government brought in, registered into the Labour Party.
So who then was Labour Party's candidate?
I am the Labour Party candidate. I am not taking the Labour Party candidate. I think it's forced by withdrawal. The matter is still on now, criminally.
Oh, you are the Labour Party candidate for Lagos State?
Of course.
Oh, okay. All right. Professor Ifagbemi.
That's very fast.
Yeah, absolutely. From what you're saying, you do not support, the court case, the attempts to, of course, reclaim Labour Party's victory, if any, in Lagos State. You're not in support of any of that.
I'm coming. Let me make it clear. The election that happened in 2023 was awash with a lot of fraudulent practices, a lot of irregularities. That is very clear. But the problem I have with those who are complaining of the election is that you are talking of your mandate. What about the mandate that people stole?
What mandate did they steal?
Yes, the mandate at the level of the primary. Because if you fraudulently go and forge somebody's withdrawal and collude with INEC to replace that name, that is the mandate that you are stolen.
Okay, we're out of time. I want you to just quickly mention, if you support Labour Party's attempts to reclaim its mandate at all, both at the presidential and at state levels, in Enugu State, in Lagos State, and of course, across the country. Do you support Labour Party's attempts to reclaim its mandate?
To start with, in Lagos State, except I am there, except my name is there, there's no mandate that Chinedu wants to reclaim.
No,
okay.
All right. Professor Ifagbemi,
I think we should hang it on here.
All right. Thank you very much for your time this morning. We, of course, will definitely be speaking with you again.
We'd also like to ask Professor Ifagbemi if we can have you live in the studio so we can have a more... We can
Zoom, whatever things.
No, we'd like to have you live. If you can come in physically, we'd appreciate that, as we'll be able to explore the conversation even further, because we sort of have struggled with the audio.
I will be Lagos soon. I'm talking to you from Abuja now. I'll be in Lagos soon.
All right.
I'm going to see you. Then when you invite me, I'll come. No problem.
All right. Thank you very much.
Do you think it was it intentional calling the Labour Party, at this point, Labour Party candidate for Lagos State? Do you think was it intentional calling him Chinedu?
You said what?
Was it intentional calling him Chinedu when he's known as Gbadebo Rhodes Viver?
Whether it's yesterday or not,
I know, but I mean, was there any, anything behind using the name Chinedu in addressing him?
When he wanted to come out and present himself, he said he's Chinedu now. What for check now? Does he not like Chinedu?
All right.
Professor, thank you very much. We'll speak with you again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
Let's take the conversation away from there to let you know that the night...